Hey there, I'm Mike Dunn with Gaming Trend, and we're here at GAMA Expo 2023, and I have Jane Hoffacker here. She's got a game to show us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's great to share the game. We're actually debuting or debuting.
I'm sorry, you're with Incredible Dream.
Yes, I am with
Incredible Dream.
Yes, that's right. And we're debuting a new game under the Kinfire IP today at GAMA for feedback and stuff like that. But I'm really excited to share it with your audience.
Awesome. Well, yeah, let's dig in.
Okay, so Kinfire Delve, Vainglory's Grotto is the first game, or this is the name of the game that we're about to play today, and it's still in prototype form, so some temp assets available, and this courtesy of Dispel Dice.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Just happened to have it handy.
Very helpful. But yeah, so this is a card game, a cooperative card game that's a dungeon delver tactic sort of game. Based on the same original IP as Kinfire Chronicles, Night's Fall, the big campaign game that we did the Kickstarter on last year, which is shipping this August. Yeah, it's a card game. Do you want to just dive in and play, and then I'll kind of explain as we go along?
Yeah, sure. That sounds great.
First up, choose your character. So in this box, each box will come with 2 seeker characters, which is our player character name, and 1 dungeon boss with the entire dungeon, if you will. And these are paid adventurers, right? To your left is Core, who's our Revenant tank character from the campaign game, and this to your right is Asha, is our melee rogue. Stealthy rogue.
Awesome. Now, is this a 1v1, is it like a skirmish game, or
It's cooperative.
it's cooperative? Okay, so you can have more than 2 players.
Yes. Well, for the first box that we're releasing at the end of this year, it's 1 to 2 players. So if you play with 1 person, you just play both of the seekers.
Oh, so there's a solo mode.
Yes.
Excellent.
And we're going to be releasing future boxes of this, which you can mix and match a bit and increase the multiplayer count to 4.
Excellent.
But each box is standalone, so you don't have to buy more than 1 box.
Yeah, that's a great model.
Yeah.
That's a great model.
Want to make it friendly, but first choose your character.
All right, I will really choose this guy because he has this. He looks mean, but he's got this adorable little fairy creature on his back. So
Yes.
I think I'll go for that. What was his name again?
Core.
Core. Okay.
And his furry little creature friend is Flickers, who, interestingly enough, when you capitalize it, has a funny name. But yes, you can picture that.
Yes.
But anyways, yeah, so this is Core. He's our Revenant tank, as I mentioned, and Asha. We'll put them aside for now. And then the second card is going to be your Lantern card, which you can also set aside for now.
Okay.
The Lantern card, as in the big campaign game, is your ultimate ability.
And it looks like it's suited specifically to this character. Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of an ultimate move that you will charge up through play, get to play hopefully once, and then you have to charge it back up to play again.
Okay.
And then for the deck, why don't we give our deck a quick shuffle?
That's good.
And since this is a 2-player game, we will deal ourselves 7 cards each. This being co-op, we can share our cards and talk about it. That's actually a good strategy to winning a cooperative game. It'd be kind of awkward to not talk.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and lay mine out there. That way we can get a good look and see what we've got.
Next, we're gonna
See if we can move this up a bit so make sure everybody can see. Alright. Wait.
Okay. Next, I'm gonna let you select the version of Vainglory that we're gonna play. So this is Vainglory. We, as paid adventurers, have been paid to go down this mysterious well that's outside the main city of Dinlux. That's been sort of taken over by a new, vagrant who's kind of otherworldly. Inside this well, Vainglory has basically become a nuisance for the city, and we've been tasked to go and clear out the well for the well-being of the city. So you're going to select one version of her and keep it face down and just pull it down.
Okay. I'm just going to see what the differences are. It looks
These are all the back sides of her.
Oh,
The front side's on the other side.
Yes.
Yes.
Should I do it randomly?
Yes, you're just going to pull out
Okay.
one and put it to face down here. It'll be a nice surprise at the end. Yep.
All right.
Okay, so we don't know which version of Vainglory we're going to encounter, and our task is to go down this well and to challenge her at the very end of it, right?
Okay.
So she's going to be throwing challenges at us along the way. Okay. So first, let's review the challenges that we're up against, okay?
Okay.
So up here we have the maze. So on the top left, it's 7 difficulty. If we win, we'll get to delve down 2 cards. If we fail this challenge, then we have to discard a card from our hand. It only applies to the person that's attempting the challenge, but we'll take turns. And if you read the fine print, it's always important in these games. If you complete it, then you complete all other copies of the maze in play. Luckily, we don't have any other maze copies in play, but if we did, then we would complete all of them at once. If we fail, though, we would discard 1 extra card for every other copy of the maze in play. So, do you get rid of this first before more show up, or do you play with that? I don't know.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Is this deck unique to Vainglory, or would this be also part of picture decks?
Yes. So the
Generic. Agnostic.
Agnostic.
Yes.
The well deck, because you're entering her abode, it's all about her. It's her
Okay.
personality. It's her, the minions and traps and things that she puts forth to challenge you. So in every future box that we have, will have a different sort of villain, if you will, or dungeon master with their own flavor well.
Okay.
But you will be able to mix and match the seekers. So like you can bring these 2 to the next adventure.
Gotcha. And now, why did you put this in a cross pattern here? What is that kind of representing?
This is just sort of the outside edges of the well as you're kind of delving deeper down to the well with her in mind. Like at the end of the day, we're trying to go all the way to the bottom so we can reveal which version of her we're getting and challenge her.
So it's kind of like a dungeon almost, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sounds cool. All right.
Okay, so again, this is the maze card. It is blue. Just pay attention to the color because when we do play our turns, we'll have to match color in order to attempt it.
Okay.
To the left here is the fountains. So this is a green card with 11 difficulty. If we win, we get to delve down 3, so higher reward. If we lose, then we lose 1 health. And we're starting at 10 health. So if we lose 1 health, then we'll, this is a shared pool.
Okay. So this is a health marker right here.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Now, when you say delve down, I know you're referring to this deck, but are you drawing more cards, or are you going deeper into the? Explain that a bit.
Sure. So if we were to delve down 3, we would delve down 3, 1, 2, 3. This card, if we completed it, would go away, and then we'd flip over to the next one.
Okay. So it's like you're getting rid of potential pitfalls along the way, but the more you delve, the faster you get through this deck.
Yes.
And the quicker you can get to the end state with that.
Exactly, because we only have 10 health, and we'll go through this on our card turns, but the more we have to draw cards, the more at peril we become, and so there's a bit of a pressure to kind of get down and challenge her as quickly as you can.
Got it, okay. So this is almost like a health meter for Vainglory.
In a way, she's trying to slow you down and really test that you're worth her time.
Okay.
Yeah. So 11, the reward would be delving down 3, so going down faster. The penalty for failing this challenge would be to lose 1 health, which 10% is kind of a lot. And then it also says if you fail this quest, then you would suffer 1 additional damage for every other 3 fountains in play. So kind of similar to this, if there were more out here, that'd be kind of trouble for us. But if we complete it, then we would triple the reward for every other copy. So that might be good, right? Like imagine if we had all 4 fountains out.
Right.
That'd be quite a bit that we can now delve down. So, a little bit of a wager. Next one over here is the Great Stag. It's a red card, 6. Seems a little bit more attainable. The reward for accomplishing it would mean you delve down 2. The punishment is 1 health. But it also has a global status, which says any other challenge that deals damage to you will deal 1 additional damage. So if we were to try this one first and we failed, then this one would also throw in additional damage.
Okay. So you want to develop your cooperative strategy against the vainglory according to things like that, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to go after these first. That's the first thing we should do.
If you're taking damage, yeah. Or, that could
If
be
you
a
like your
strategy.
health points.
If you like living, yes.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Last but not least, out here we have the Crystal Caves, 7 difficulty. The reward here is activating our lantern, which I mentioned earlier is our ultimate ability.
Right.
It's got some really cool powers, like if we turn it over real quick. Asha's ultimate would be, after this action, you may discard up to 2 other challenges. That's pretty powerful, and it's a 5 damage.
And then this one is, after this action, add 3 progress to all other challenges.
Right, so if you were to attack this one, you would deal 5 on here, and then 3, which gives you progress against them, which is pretty great.
Now, is that what these chips here are for? To indicate progress against these efforts?
Yes, these are hand-drawn art by yours personally. Yeah, these are progress markers. So as we do our turns, this is how we would remember how much progress we made on each turn.
Okay.
So we can kind of shotgun approach, do a little on each. We can sync, just snipe one at a time. But these help us kind of track where we're at. So the reward on that, we don't delve down further, but we unleash an ultimate ability. And the penalty on this is we would delve up. So if we had a bunch of cards here and we failed, then we have to delve backwards.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So you were mentioning something about a passive on Vainglory.
Right. So Vainglory, this being her home, she has certain house rules, and her rule is when you're attempting a challenge, it will gain 1 difficulty for every other challenge with the same name in play. So if there was like another maze here, each one would suddenly be 8 difficulty instead of 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I guess let's get started.
Yeah. Okay. So
Run through a couple of turns, maybe.
yes, that's good. Okay, so maybe would you like to start first?
Sure. Sure. So this is freaking me out.
Yes. And in order to attempt this challenge, you'll need to play a red card.
Okay.
Or you can also play a white card, because white is a wild card color in our system.
Okay.
So you can use it against anything. This here is a 2-colored card. It's red or blue.
I can use it on either one.
Exactly.
Sounds pretty straightforward. Let's see.
Just to talk. Yeah.
Discard at the start of any turn to discard a challenge. I actually kind of like that.
It's not
So
bad.
I could use this to discard that challenge. Is that correct?
That's one option. Yeah.
Okay.
You can get rid of this, get rid of that challenge. A new card would come out. You would still take your turn.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So this would go into my discard pile, I'm assuming. And then this would go.
That would go into the well discard.
Okay. So the well has a discard and a delve.
It has a discard and a completion pile. So
okay.
once we complete a challenge, we won't face it again.
Okay. Well, with this, if for instance, if this got activated, would this go back into the deck?
Yes.
Ah.
Because it was discarded, it wasn't actually attempted.
Okay. All right. Well, we bring a new one out.
Yes.
And that is a big scary 10.
Yes. So this is Jeweled Spires 10. The reward would be if you complete it, you can delve down 3. Nice. And you can activate your lantern. Not bad. If we lose, we get 1 health damage. All right. See.
So do I draw a card to replace that, or is that at the end of my turn?
You only draw a card when you're out of cards in your hand. Or if you want to discard your entire hand, you could discard it, draw 7 more, but you would pull an exhaustion card, which is, I'll tell you, never good.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this one, it looks like I can only. Well, I guess I could use either one of these two too, but I'm going to go ahead and use the guarded strike on the maze.
Okay.
So.
So what's going to happen is you're going to play that against this, and then I'll have a chance to boost it. And boosting is the number at the bottom of the card,
Oh, nice.
and the top of the card doesn't apply to the boost, but
the
the
color does.
color does. And so I would have to, if you play against this one, I would have to match the cards, blue or green, so I could do this one.
And I see the +3 versus obstacle has specific things in special cases. Nice.
I don't have anything that would give me a bonus against puzzle. I think that's okay. So yes, and then after I have a chance to boost it up to 2 times on my turn to help you get closer to that 7. And then after that, you're going to roll the dice. And depending, if you roll like a blue die, then you'll add an additional cards. Right?
So I would roll all 4.
Yeah. So let's play this through. So you're going to play the card of strike. It's probably a good time to also mention your passive. So Core's passive says, when any seeker fails a challenge, you may reduce any damage suffered by 1 for each shield that's on the seeker's current action or phase. So since you played this and there's a shield, if you fail this will block 1 damage, but actually you're not going to get a damage, you're actually going to discard a card. But just so you know.
Okay, that would happen.
So I think I will try to continue. So
Now, how would I fail?
if you don't make 7.
Oh. Okay, so I need 4 blues to show up on this stuff, on these dice, right?
Yeah, so I'll boost you by 1.
Oh, I see. So
You're going to have 4, so you just need at least 3.
Or a white, because a white is what?
Yeah, white can be a wild card. So you would need, we're hoping for 3 blue.
Okay, let's do this.
Oh, you did it!
Did it.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so this goes in our discard. This goes away. And we're going to delve down 2. And this is what goes into the 1, 2, and 3.
Well, look at that.
At least did it come out together.
Yes, this is true. I'll scooch these together.
And I think for my turn,
Oh, now after this action, draw 2 cards.
Oh, right.
Oh, look, I got another blue. And here's got red. Looks like the colors of cards are generally themed to the character.
Yes, generally you'll find that Core will have more red in their deck, whereas Osha, they have more green for agility. And that follows in line with the campaign game as well. So thematically, there's a lot of good theme ties.
So red is like combat?
Red is like power.
Power? Okay. And blue?
It's more like wisdom and thinky type of things.
Green is agility. And white is wild.
Right.
And are there any other colors?
There's also black shows up in our game. It kind of represents darkness, which is sort of a cataclysmic force that's like present in the lore of our story.
Okay.
And you do see it. Sometimes it presents chaos, sometimes not. So it's a bit of mystery.
All right. So we keep on taking turns and whittling down the deck. At what point are the win conditions? Like, at what point do we lose or win?
There's different ways to lose. One way would be when you lose all the health in your die, for example. Another way is when you do discard your hand or try to draw a new hand for any reason. You take one of these.
Let's take a look at those. Yeah.
So consume, for example, if there's 3 copies of this in play, you would lose the game. So the more you kind of abuse that draw, you put yourself at risk. This one would basically, after you complete a challenge, take up that slot. It doesn't seem too bad, but it's really limiting your options at that point. Which can put you in harm's way if these are really difficult. And then this one, for example, each time you fail a challenge, like we did in this case, we would put a progress here, and if we get to 4, then we would fail.
Okay.
And there are ways to clear exhaustion, right? But you're constantly trading off clearing exhaustion, making progress.
Okay.
And what would happen is eventually when you get back down to the bottom, like let's say we've cleared everything in our well, we would clear the rest of the challenges in play. We would be facing Vainglory in her gauntlet, and she would bring out her final form. And would you like to flip it over and see which version?
Yes, let's see what we got. The Dreadweaver. +2 difficulty for every card attached to Vainglory. Well, that's vicious. Now, I'm assuming there's like beefier cards, or is it just a much longer combo?
This combat is a bit tricky because her card color is black, which means there's no color in your hand that matches black. You couldn't attack her directly.
Except white. With the white.
Not even white with
Not
her.
even white with her.
So
Okay.
what you would have to do is you would have to attack one of her guardians to then make her vulnerable to that color.
Okay.
These aren't easy guardians either. So like these two will cause you damage if you discard them as a challenge, right? So there were some cards in her hands, like this example, you may discard up to 2 other challenges after this action. If I did that to these, we would suffer 3 damage from doing that, which might be okay.
But there would be a benefit to it. 'Cause then she would now be vulnerable to red.
Yes. And this one at the bottom says if you would place 5 or more progress on Vainglory, you would place it here instead. So this is Vainglory's personal meat shield, the handmaids,
Got it.
preventing you from really doing big splashy damage to her until you defeat the handmaidens, right? But when you get to this stage, it's all what cards you have in play, how much health you have, and how spicy you're feeling about approach, right? Yeah.
Okay, so I know this is part of the Kinfire Chronicles. It's tied with the other game that you guys kickstarted. What is the full name of this game?
This is Kinfire Delve, Vainglory's Grotto.
Okay.
This is the first box in a series of games that we're doing under this product line. So there's going to be another box that we're releasing a few months after that, and another box after that.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Like each box will have its own Dungeon Master, 2 new Seekers.
Totally standalone.
Totally
But can be
standalone.
combined.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yes.
And when are you guys going to take this to Kickstarter?
We're still figuring out a lot of these
Still
pieces,
figuring it out?
but
Okay.
we really designed this with friendly local game stores in mind. Love to see this in those stores. So we're exploring those avenues as well. Like how can we get it through?
Okay. And would this be feature complete, or is it still? Are you still tweaking the design, and maybe some of the visuals, whatnot?
My art director has a bone to pick with some of
yeah,
these,
yeah,
but-
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are you shooting for as far as release?
Release, hoping to do it this year, probably towards the end of the year before the holidays, maybe October, November is what we're thinking, if the stars align. And yeah, it'll be $20 is what we're thinking in terms of MSRP.
That's
kind
a
of
good
a
price.
nice price point,
Yeah.
a stocking stuffer.
Yeah. Awesome. So, will you be at Gen Con or Origins?
Yes.
Maybe PAX East?
We'll be at Gen Con for sure, PAX U, and hopefully more.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see how this develops over the course of the year, and look forward to the final product.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And hopefully we can get some coverage of your adventure game
Right.
up on the site soon.
Love it, yes.
Excellent.